Listen, Andrew Friedman, he's loosening, he's limbering up, he's getting ready for a busy deadline. And one guy he might be looking at down the road a few months in that offseason, they're going to face him tomorrow night. Shohei Ohtani. Before we get out of here quickly, we got to talk Shohei Ohtani. Show me the Shohei. This is a guy the Dodgers were in on during free agency back in 2018. They were front runners in the whole recruiting thing. I think everybody who came out of the pitch meeting with Shohei's group, with his team, felt very confident that he was going to come to L.A. Instead, he went to Anaheim. Maybe he got confused because they have Los Angeles Angels in their name for some stupid reason. But the whole thing was he has criteria of what he's looking for him, for his family, for his future, and all that. Do you think the Dodgers at this point in time, and I know we also are going to have more of the Doug Insider scoop in whatever he's going to riff on here, but do you think the Dodgers have all of the parts that it needs to get Shohei Ohtani in L.A. next year and beyond?
I think the plan has been in place for Shohei, not just this year, not just last year, but ever since he signed with the Angels. I think that he's been the golden goose, the big white whale that they have chased this entire time, and I think they put themselves in a position to go after him. I mean, you saw the flexible deals, the J.D. Martinez, the David Peraltas. They didn't make any big splash signings, and I think rightfully so, because you have to go after a Shohei Ohtani. Now, as far as the Dodgers as an attractive organization, as far as their history with the Dodgers that you talked about, yes, this is a franchise that scouted him out of high school. This is a franchise that has had a relationship with Japanese-born players for so long. This is a organization that wants him in Dodger blue in the worst way. Now, in 2017, when they had that meeting with Clayton Kershaw actually flew from his wedding all the way to L.A. for that pitch meeting. Justin Turner left the plans for his wedding for that wedding. And what did Clayton Kershaw basically say a few weeks later? That it was a waste of time. They thought it was a waste of time because, of course, you didn't have the designated hitter in the National League, and they realized that, hey, you couldn't have him in the outfield spot. So now it's perfect. You have the DH, right? It's a perfect situation for him. And his agent at the time, Nez Balello, he actually gave 30 teams a questionnaire to try to pitch themselves to Shohei Ohtani. And the first thing asked him was to evaluate his talent as a pitcher and as a hitter. If you look at him this year, Clint, he's still a unicorn. I mean, what he's able to do offensively and on the mound is unprecedented. This won't happen again. 24 home runs, that's first in the league. 58 RBI, that's second. 173 weighted runs created plus, that's first. Pitching a 3.29 ERA. So he's a guy, he's an ace pitcher that's competing for a triple crown. Okay, that's unbelievable.
You don't do that.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers in his prime and Aaron Donald just rolled into one, right? Now, the second thing they asked him was explain player development and medical training. So this is one thing I want to ask you. Player development-wise, this organization, they produce a lot of talent. They have consistently one of the top farm systems in all of Major League Baseball. Do you think if you're Shohei Ohtani, you look at that and you see, okay, if I go to the Dodgers, they are going to develop pitching around me? We saw in 2021, the Angels, what they do, all they do is draft pitchers because they realize, okay, Dodgers know what they're doing, right?
Angels have needed pitching for a long time. Why it took them so long to do anything about it, I don't know, but that's what they ended up doing. Yeah, if I'm Shohei Ohtani and that's something important to me, you go to the best in the business at doing it. And there's one thing the Dodgers do extremely well, and that is develop pitching talent. That's where you get some random boy named Emmett coming out throwing mid-90s cheddar and 6 no-hit innings against your franchise nemesis Giants. That's what this team does. They develop pitching. Even if it's delayed development pitching, like we're seeing Brock Stewart with the Twins absolutely shove. Yeah, it's 5 years later, but they find a way to find these guys that are eventually going to be something special and try to turn them into something special. And to think of Shohei Ohtani with the Dodgers, this is a guy who's already among the best in baseball at his craft on both sides. But imagine him with the Dodgers and pitching, and not only that, but working with like Tony Gonsolin on refining an already nasty split finger fastball. That's a lot of fun stuff. It's a lot of fun fantasy world stuff.
Exactly. And apparently back in the day, back when he was starting his journey, his number one goal was to win a World Series, right? His number one goal was to be the best player that he could be. And same. Okay, yeah, we'll get you on. Hey, you're in the World Series box in 2020, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, there you go. You already have won your World Series.
Yes, I am.
Exactly. So, look, he's 28 years old, right? He has no time to waste. He can't risk going to the Mets. The Mets, they've had a lot of money, right? Have those signings worked out? Has Max Scherzer worked out? Has any of these veterans, do they know how to use that money? I would say the answer is no so far. Yeah. The Padres, how much money do they have?
I hear the Padres are going broke.
Yeah,
that's what I've been told by industry sources, because they lost all that sweet Bally money.
Exactly. They're going to start going. Yeah, I mean,
you want the dub, you got to pay your players. You know.
Yeah, I mean, do they have the financial muscle to make it happen? I think the San Francisco Giants are an interesting team, but I still think the Dodgers, they make the most sense. If I'm Andrew Friedman, if I'm this organization, I'm looking Ohtani in the eye. I'm saying, one, we can give you the best team and all the resources, because the reality is you can't guarantee winning. Only thing you can guarantee is the resources and that you're going to do everything you can win. I mean, are you going to go out there and spend all the money? The Dodgers, they've proven they can do that. Even this year, above $233 million, they're going to still pay the 50% surtax. They let a guy go in, Trevor Bauer, to Japan to pay $22 million. It's not about the money for him. Also, what I said a few months ago, when you go to Dodger Stadium and you're buying your micheladas and you're paying for your parking, your peanuts, that's all going to the Ohtani fund. So you can feel good about that. It's the Ohtani bill. Every month you get your Ohtani bill. We're happy to pay it. And then what was that?
You're good. Just keep going.
Oh,
you're good.
Okay,
you're good.
no.
Just keep going.
So yeah, I mean, look, if I'm the Dodgers and I'm Shohei Ohtani, you're batting in a lineup: Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Shohei Ohtani. So you're gonna have the best at bats. You played with Mike Trout. You have been the Bugatti and the Shaq meme, but now you have the bottom of the line. You have young players that can come up, and the reality is the only way to achieve sustainable winning is you have a farm system that can develop talent, team control, sustainable winning. He can do that here. The rotation, imagine a rotation of Bobby Miller, Dustin May, Shohei Ohtani, Clayton Kershaw coming back, Walker Buehler. Imagine the big three right there. Let's say Clayton Kershaw returns as your lefty. Ohtani, Buehler, Dustin May, Clayton Kershaw. I mean, this is a big four, the murderer's rotation once again. I think this is the team that you look back in 100 years, you're going to see him in a Dodgers uniform. $500 million, that's going to be a drop in the bucket. You see what the Inter Miami just paid Lionel Messi? They got him on a deal because they basically gave him rights to Apple streaming. They gave Adidas gave him money. The average ticket price for Inter Miami went from $82 a game to $500 a game.
That's nuts, man.
Okay, so he has to. This is the organization that get him the closest to the World Series. This is a team that perennially is in the postseason. Have to do it.
And Shohei's the type of player that pays for himself a little bit. I think you take him out of Anaheim, 70% of the billboards are going to change out there. The people pay the money to sponsor the place where Shohei Ohtani works. So let's get him to LA. 57.2% of current baseball players polled by The Athletic, or they were polled by The Athletic, but the current baseball players, 57.2% believe he will sign with the Dodgers. Everybody else is a distant second place. So that's interesting to see.
I want to know how Brandon Belt's vote went. What do you say?
Dude, that's too soon. You guys want to learn about what Brandon Belt said? You can go check
it's
that
not
out
about
on
HalosToday.com. It was never about the money for him. I mean, he could have waited till he was 25 and posted regularly. Instead, he wanted to go to the show when he was 23 years old. So it's not really about the money. He makes tons of money through endorsements. If you look it up, he's actually one of the highest paid male models in the world. That's a fact.
Same.
So same, my man Clinton. No, I believe that. I believe that. But
you run to let him know.
Yeah, and also too culturally, how do you integrate him into the culture? He's already in the West Coast. He's in LA.
This is the house that Hideo built. He's fine.
Exactly.
He fits right in, and the culture is rich, and it's all very close to Dodger Stadium.
Rookie of the Year, Hideo. He actually, Hideo actually gamed the system. He actually announced his retirement from the MPB, and then he was able to get in that
clutch,
way.
That thug.